Europa League. And undoubtedly, this an opportunity for United to cement their position in second place in the table, behind their neighbours and leaders, Manchester City. And it's a busy weekend with some big games coming up tomorrow. Arsenal meeting the leaders to kick off Sunday's action. Liverpool needing points right at the bottom at home to Aston Villa. London City Lionesses looking to build on their victory last week. They're at home to Everton. West Ham now, of course, looking over their shoulders once again at home to Brighton. And then Chelsea looking to respond to that hammering they received at Manchester City. But it'll be a tough game for them, a London derby away to Spurs. And this the situation at the top of the table. United 11 points behind City. Chelsea now only a point clear of Arsenal, who do have that game in hand against Leicester, and they're level on points with Spurs. Leicester themselves 2 points clear of Liverpool. And before we welcome the two teams onto the pitch, let's hear from both managers talking to Ambassador.
Hi Rick, good to see you. Let's go through team news first. 3 changes for your side going into this game.
We've had a look at the squad. We've got a very competitive squad now that we can adapt to certain situations that may be brought by the opposition, but we also have this competitive element within training. So train well, it gives you an opportunity to get in the window as well. And we've had a few knocks and we've had a little bit of illness in the camp, so we've had to adapt on that front in preparation for today's game.
Mark, let's go through team news first. 2 changes for your side going into this game.
I think it's really important that we've got a heavy fixture schedule coming up. We have really important games, including this one today. So I think it's important that we give everybody the exposure needed to their very best during these game periods. So that's the reason. Always difficult to leave players out, but obviously it's good to welcome Hannah and Leah into the starting lineup.
It's 4 consecutive wins now for your side across all competitions. Morale and confidence must be quite high in the camp, Mark.
Absolutely, we are a team that thrives on it. But what I say to you is we're built on a deeper spirit. Yesterday we celebrated the 68th year for the Munich air disaster and what that means to us. And I reminded the players pre-match about the spirit of a Manchester United team, what it's built on tragedy and ecstasy. So from our perspective today, I want to see that spirit in my team again, and that's the real difference. Regardless of who steps on the field, they're built with this badge and this honour of representing people that have gone before us.
You'll be aware of the threat that Manchester United pose. It's 4 consecutive wins for them across all competitions. What is the approach coming into this game?
I think it's a great challenge. It's a great opportunity to change the narrative, and we've got to look after ourselves correctly. But obviously nowadays with all the data, etc., you've got to look at the potential threats the opposition make, but where can you exploit? What can you do with the ball in possession to exploit spaces, to achieve the outcome, but ensuring that everybody sticks to the processes, and during that game the concentration and composure has to be at its maximum for you to get a result today.
You're facing a Leicester side then who have had nearly 2 weeks of training and no games, but also come off the back of consecutive defeats. What sort of play are you expecting?
High energy, commitment, spirit.
Those are the views of the two managers as we welcome the two teams at the King Power Stadium. Leicester City looking. And here are the two teams. A full debut for Alicia Lehmann, who returned to the WSL during the transfer window. Tyra Keys also comes into the defence, and Emily Van Egmond will have experience to midfield, alongside Rachel Williams in attack, who moved from Manchester United last month and is now approaching 200 WSL appearances, having scored on her debut in this competition 15 years ago. made 2 changes, citing the heavy schedule United are facing. Leah Schuller replaces Elizabeth Turland in attack, and Hannah Lundqvist makes her first WSL start, with Jade Riviere also dropping to the bench. United are seeking their 3rd successive win in this competition, and have only failed to beat Leicester once in 9 meetings. And alongside before this game is another Women's Super League original, Helen Ward, who played in the opening game for Chelsea. And this is a real test for Leicester here today.
Yeah, they're really up against it this afternoon against a good Manchester United side who have got their eyes set on trying to hunt down Manchester City and keep themselves in that top 2 in the European spaces. So yeah, tough afternoon ahead, I'd expect for Leicester.
And Mark Skinner was speaking very warmly about Rachel Williams before kick-off. She's a player who has played in every single WSL season, and if Leicester are to stay up, she will have a key role to play.
She will, and it's not just what she'll offer on the pitch as a player, you know, her presence, her physicality, her eye for goal, the threat that she poses in the air in particular, but it's what she'll offer off the pitch, and that's what I think she did so well at Manchester United at times, was she brought out the best in her teammates, whether she was starting games or on the bench. She knew what she needed to do in training in the week, and that lifted her teammates, and that's what she'll need to do at Leicester as well.
Leah Schuller also coming back into the United team today. We often questioned the depth of this United team, but not now.
No, they've added some real quality, and I was lucky enough to be at the Emirates to see her come on for her debut. It was a debut that probably wasn't one she wanted to experience, being down to 10 players. It didn't give her the best platform to shine, but I felt she did really well in those moments that she did get, and I'm excited to see how her career develops at United.
Stacey Fullocks is our referee here today, just sorting out her technology before kick-off, assisted by Lauren Whiteman and Lorraine Catchpole. And Rick Passmore, a coach of immense experience in the Women's Super League. And he's gone for experience as well in the transfer window. Alicia Lehman returning to this competition. But Mark Skinner knows that 2026 could be a very big year for Manchester United. And they have the opportunity to take a firm grip on second place here. They are attacking in the red shirts. The goal away to our left in the first half. Mallard with the first cross into the penalty area. Now Miyazawa. And Lundqvist. And Stacey Fullocks has halted play. I think Rachel Williams may have had an early problem.
Yeah, just after kick-off she's gone to close down her former teammates and taken one straight in the face, but it's going to take a little bit more than that for someone like Rachel Williams to need treatment or go off the pitch.
She's closing in on a half-century of goals in the Women's Super League. She was prolific in the opening year, 14 goals in 14 games, but the longer her career has gone on, she's been very good player at bringing others into the game and making goals for others. Here is Schuller on the chase here. Swaby is able to shepherd the ball behind. It's going to be a testing day for the Leicester defence, because Leah Schuller has shown at the very, very highest level what a good player she is.
Yeah, and that front four in general for Manchester United is packed full of talent, ability, assists, goals. You know, there's so much for Leicester to have to think about when coming up against them, and Leah Schuller is certainly up there as one of the best in that group.
United have won 8 of the 9 meetings. The only exception to that, a 1-1 draw at Leigh Sports Village in October of 2023. Here is Hannah Kane, closed down by Dominic Janssen, and United will have the throw-in. Leicester have beaten only 2 teams so far this season by a goal to nil, the lowest scorers in the Women's Super League, and they've not scored more than once in any game, and a lack of firepower has really been the issue for them. Here is Lehman, Placed down by Miyazawa. In the end, United do get the throw-in. She will be a player who's
the odd goal. So yeah, players like that are going to be super important.
Ashley Neville, another of those, of course, ended her long association with Spurs, signing for Leicester, and then promptly scored an own goal for Spurs in her WSL debut for the Foxes. Here is Mallard. Now Sandberg. Miyazawa. That's a clever ball. Just beyond Mallard, and did take a deflection on the way through. It will be a corner.
Mallard recognising that she wasn't going to get on the end of it, but seen a touch and happy to take a corner for her side.
United have been very strong from set pieces so far this season. Early opportunity here. Tizier has led the players forward from the back. It's guided away by Williams, recovered by Park. Park has got Sandberg in space on the edge of the penalty area, trying to set herself for the shot. Then the cross is eventually delivered in by Zighiotti, but Miyazawa will have to go all the way back to Tullis Joyce. We did see Anna Sandberg score a spectacular long-range goal against Chelsea earlier this season, but just unable to get the ball under a spell there in time.
Yeah, she's grown into her role in the United backline, I think, Sandberg. She was a really good threat down the left-hand side. Didn't play too much in the opening stages of her time at the club, but has really cemented herself as a regular starter for Mark Skinner.
Mallard. Miyazawa. Zighiotti. Lundqvist looking to get forward here, challenged by Lehmann. It will be another corner. Leicester here on the defensive right from the start. They've only actually gained more points at this stage once during their time in the Women's Super League, which gives you an idea of where they've been for much of that time. But they're only a point clear of West Ham and 2 clear of Liverpool, who are right at the bottom at the moment in that relegation playoff place. The corner is deep towards Schuller. Ale is able to clear. Now Park. Challenged by Williams. Miyazawa. Good ball forward towards Mallard, who's created the space, and the cross gathered eventually by Olivia Clark.
Yeah, good play from United, trying to keep the pressure on after the set piece and almost getting a clean shot away. Mallard couldn't quite get enough on it there. Good feet inside the box. Starting to see the pattern now of United dominating the ball against this Leicester City team, struggling to get out of their own half for the most part.
Now it's forward. Looking for the pace of Kane. In behind Letizia just for a moment. Williams in the centre, along with Mailing. And Sandberg has to get across before Mailing and concede the corner.
Yeah, good play from Hannah Kane, just as I'm saying. Leicester are struggling to get out their half. They earn themselves a corner. She faces up Maya Letizia. She's got good pace, Hannah Kane. Faces her up, gets to the byline and puts a decent ball in. You just see with her gesture there, she's expecting one of those players to get across Sandberg and attack the ball, but neither of them do, neither Mailing or Williams. You want them to get in at the front post there.
Leicester yet to score from a corner kick this season, although relatively speaking they've not had too many. Stacey Pulis will just check on where the ball is. swing it from Tierney. Williams will challenge, but it's cleared as far as Neville. Back from Van Egmond. Scooped into the penalty area, and that was a clever header, but the flag's up. It wouldn't have counted anyway.
Much better from Leicester there. Again, trying to keep the pressure on from the corner, recycled well. Felt that ball was just a bit short. It's a very close one there. The flag against Keys.
It's an opportunity for Williams, but the shot is straight. Challenge of Mailing. Mallard again, but Van Egmond will recover. Keys. Schuller though wins it back. Mallard. Park. Zigiotti. Good football again. Lundqvist. Alsund made the run into the penalty area, but Mailing is able to guide the ball away. Here is Sandberg. Miyazawa. Zigiotti. Swaby just getting a foot in before Schuller. Leicester's record against the current top four is no wins, 2 draws and 34 defeats since they've arrived in the Women's Super League, and they've had some big losses as well. I think when Rick Passmore took on the job, he knew this season was going to be difficult. Ale and Tierney. Ale picking out Williams, but only briefly.
It's important to try and retain possession if you're Leicester. Try and get a hold of the ball, stop the pressure coming in the other direction from United, who, we heard Mark Skinner before the game, we wanted high energy. I feel we've seen that. Maybe not quite the quality he'd expect from his team just yet, but they are playing with an energy, and Leicester just need to try and slow the game down to their pace.
Another chase here for Hannah Kane, and Alice Joyce leaving a penalty area to deal with that. Sandberg. Miyazawa. Back to the American goalkeeper. Of course, United have huge games coming up with Chelsea in both the WSL Cup final and the 5th round of the Women's FA Cup, and also 2 games with Atletico Madrid in the UEFA Women's Champions League knockout playoffs. So the depth of this squad will be tested. Here is Schuller. Nearly broken field for Nalsson. Now Mallard challenging. Swaby just happy to get the ball out of play.
Yeah, she did really well there initially, just to get a little block on. Stop that free-flowing move from Manchester United.
Park, it's cleverly done. Lundqvist. But short for Park, and Ale was able to make the challenge. The United have scored at least 3 times in both of their 2 most recent victories in the Women's Super League. 13 different scorers as well, so the ability to have goals from anywhere is so important to any team looking to be successful this season. When you look down their list of scorers, they don't have anyone who's hugely prolific, but if everybody's chipping in, it doesn't matter so much.
Yeah, definitely, and it means that you're not reliant on one player or a couple of players up the top end of the pitch. And we've seen in the past, when you are reliant on one player, if they do get injured or are unavailable for a game or 2, then you could be in a bit of bother.
That's a good cross into the area and all the way through. Giulio Zigiotti will claim it. And it was a real teaser. Olivia Clark may be distracted by those ahead of her. And Manchester United have the goal they were threatening.
Yeah, fantastic delivery from Zigiotti, cuts in on her right foot on the left-hand side of the pitch, and it's one of those for the goalkeeper where it's really difficult to read, because Leah Schuller, although she may not have got a touch, for me that run and that attempt, it makes the goal, because Olivia Olivia Clark can't make a decision until the ball is past her, and by that time it's far too late. Leah Schuller's run across Ale there at the back. It's a wonderful delivery from Ziggiotti, and that's what you get told as a player. If you can get those sort of crosses on target, you never know, it may just sneak in, and that's what happened here today.
Well, that's Ziggiotti's goal, her third in 5 games. Now Mallard. Nalsund has also been in good goal-scoring form recently. Keys just getting a touch. Miyazawa. Park. Ziggiotti. That's too firm for Park. So that's all. The diagonal ball is often one that Leah Schuller will thrive on, and it was good movement from her.
For any younger players looking and wanting to get to this level of the game as a forward, they're the sorts of movements that you need.
Mallard. Blocked by Swaby. United have won all 7 games previously when they've taken the lead in the Women's Super League this season. Leicester have lost 8 of the 10. And they have conceded first, so got some history to try and rewrite here. Ale with the back pass, which was rather tentative, but Clark is able to clear. And as far as Ziggiotti, now Miyazawa. Sandberg forward again, and this time she blazes over the top.
Yeah, they're enjoying themselves a little bit more now, aren't they? Manchester United piling on the pressure. Lovely little bit of play. Mallard knows. To leave it, good touch from Sandberg, and you just think she's going to mess. That into the back of the net, but just gets too excited.
Up to this game because Arsenal were involved in the FIFA Challenge competition. Rick Passmore was calling on his team to try and really change the narrative today, to use his words, but at the moment, as we can see, they can't really get the ball. Here is Sandberg. Another good run from her. Mallard pulls away to the left. Sandberg creating the width, but Mallard goes alone, and that's an excellent save from Olivia Clark.
Yeah, good effort from Mallard. Comes in onto that right foot of hers. Just think you're going to see that hit the far corner, but Olivia Clark does exceptionally well to move her feet and get across to make the save. It's a really testing time at the moment for Leicester City.
The Welsh international with a fine save. This third successive game for Leicester City. Of course, the previous 2 were lost. United have another corner here, scenting a second goal. It's deep towards Letizia, but Keys is able to guide the ball as far as Park. And the cross is deep. Williams is eventually able to hack the ball to safety, and she's picked out Kane. She was looking for a free kick, but nothing given. Sandberg. Now Janssen. Park. Mallard. Nalsund and Schuller in the centre, but it's good defending again by Sari Keys, but it will be another corner.
It's relentless, isn't it, from United at the moment? Since the goal's gone in, they haven't let up at all. really want to push to get that second and possibly third in this first half.
Leicester, once again, in the Women's Super League, finding themselves under pressure. Ashley Neville, the player who was brought in to try and add some steel to this defence. The corner's cleared, but it's quickly recycled. Ziggiotti. Sandberg was in space, now just needs to watch the offside, which is maybe why Janssen and Ziggiotti were happy to hold on to the ball, but it will be another opportunity here for United to build. Janssen. Letizier. Sandberg. Releasing Ziggiotti. And it's claimed by Clark. One-way traffic.
It is indeed. It's all Manchester United at the moment. And Leicester are struggling to get any sort of rhythm in possession. Struggling to handle Manchester United out of possession as well.
Well, those are the action areas, and I think that 21% was pretty much down to Hannah Kane's run in the early stages, which won that corner kick. Asmita Ale is just receiving some treatment here for a facial injury, so Rick Passmore calling in a number of his players to try and sort one or two things out.
Yeah, it's a nice sort of natural break for him to have a quick chat. He's not, a man of his experience will know that his team are really under the cosh at the moment, and they're going to need to figure a way out of that.
Made 5 signings in January. Of course, he took over as interim coach very late in the pre-season, and then was confirmed in October on a 3-year deal. Will be okay to continue. And in the past, it's fair to say that a number of clubs around the bottom of the league, like Leicester, have been able to rely on a team who, from very early on, looked like relegation candidates, but it's not really the case this year.
No, it's often been the team that's come up from the WSL2 or, what was the champion. Look at the likes of Crystal Palace, Crystal City in years gone by, but of course they didn't have the money of Michelle Kang's London City line exit, so they're not going anywhere, and that suddenly puts a lot of pressure on those teams like Leicester, Everton, and of course Liverpool, who nobody probably expected to be down there. It's put a lot of pressure on those teams this season.
Mallard. A good run from her. Nalsund goes down as she hit it by Keys. Ale will clear. Miyazawa, who seems to gather the loose balls. Now Sandberg. And the cross is deep, but it's good defending by Neville. Under pressure from Schuller to concede the corner.
Excellent defending. Had to do that because that's a nice little cross there from Sandberg. But Miyazawa, there's so few occasions where she's going to miscontrol or misplace a pass. That control was wonderful there. It's a wonderfully weighted ball into the path of Sandberg, who clips it to the back post, and yeah, Schuller was there and waiting. Ashley Neville had to be really alert and head that one behind.
Corner kick once again is deep, and I think it was Williams who got the final touch. Clark was rather caught under the ball there. Midpoint of the first half, Leicester City a goal down, but they are really clinging on grimly to try and stay in this game. This is United's 5th corner. And it's very deep. Once again, it's Williams on the end of it. Miyazawa, Park, Sandberg, Ziggiotti. It's another high diagonal looking for Schuller. Well, they did well to clear by Eggman. Gets there before Lundqvist. Now Lehmann. Hammered away by Neville. Here is Tierney. Maybe asking too much of Kane, and Sandberg will cover for United, and Leicester, I'm sure, will be pinpointing those games against the other teams around the bottom. They've got Manchester City away next, so I'm sure they'll be realistic going into that game. Then they have an away game at Liverpool, and on the final day they are away to Everton. Now Sandberg. It's covered by Keys.
You almost have to create your own sort of little mini league with the teams around you when you're down at the bottom, and almost not forget about the teams at the top, because of course there's always an opportunity to take points, but the focus very much has to be on winning games against those who it's going to directly affect, and you're going to claw back, you know, some ground potentially, or pull yourself away from the group. So yeah, some really key games coming up for Leicester. But that Manchester City one is almost a bit of a free hit, as people like to say.
They've also got Chelsea at home as well, which may be in a similar category. I remember being at the King Power Stadium a few years ago when Chelsea won here 9-0.
Yeah, and again, that's the sort of thing you want to avoid, because it does so much damage to team morale and confidence. You know, even if you're not likely to win the game or even get any points, to get beaten so heavily, it can really kill that confidence, and it gives other teams hope around you that you're not in a good place.
But that season, Leicester were effectively in a mini-league of two, themselves and Birmingham, and they won the game that mattered. Neville. The pressure here from Park, who's won it back. Alson was looking to feed it infield towards Schuller. United looking to build again here. Leicester do need to be mindful of goal difference. West Ham's is currently 4 goals worse than them. Now Park. And Janssen. WSL winner with Arsenal, Lundqvist. United have had more joy down the left-hand side with Mallard and Zagiotti, and also Sandberg, who's involved here, but this time the cross is blocked.
Yeah, they have enjoyed this near touchline. I think United, they've used Sandberg on the overlap really well. She loves to get forward, she's got a lovely left foot. Haven't seen quite so much of Lundqvist in an attacking sense on the other side.
Now Sandberg again. Mallard appeals for offside, but no flag for now. Liazawa. Letizier. Lundqvist again, and both of United's central defenders are well inside the Leicester half, which tells you how the game is going as Lundqvist closes down Lehmann. I think she wanted the free kick, but it's a goal kick anyway.
Yeah, I don't think there was a foul in there. I think it's just coming together after Lundqvist had played the ball out for a goal kick. But yeah, I mean, such is the pressure from Manchester United. It's quite difficult to work out exactly the formation that Leicester are playing, because they're going into a back 5 and a back 6 at times.
Back 9.
Yeah, and all players trying to get behind the ball and stem the flow of attacks from United.
United coming into this game 11 points behind Manchester City. But of course, there is a big race for the UEFA Women's Champions League. A point clear of Chelsea, 2 ahead of both Arsenal and Spurs, and of course it is Spurs against Chelsea coming up tomorrow. But Arsenal are home to Manchester City.
Key
could be a very good weekend for Manchester United.
It could be, yeah. And you think, you know, from a Spurs point of view, is this the best opportunity they're going to have to go and get points out of a game against Chelsea? City potentially looking like they might be home and hosed, but anything can happen, and a defeat against Arsenal can slightly open up that gap again. So
there's a concern here because Leicester Schuller is down. It looked to be a fairly innocuous challenge on first viewing. Well, she looks to be okay. She was tangling with Swaby, which has been the story of the match so far. Oh, just inadvertent tread on the toe.
yeah, I don't think there was too much in there. Schuller looks like she's more upset than hurt that she's gone down to the ground, but I think she'll be okay. I think she's trying to buy something for her team there. I don't think there was anything in that. That's just a natural contest between a centre half and a centre forward, and speaking as a former centre forward, you always feel like the one that's hard done by against those bigger centre halves.
Played in the first ever match in the Women's Super League between Chelsea and Arsenal at Tooting and Mitcham, so a good deal has changed.
It has indeed. That was a very different setup, shall we say, to what we're seeing in the Women's Super League now.
Rachel Williams, of course, still playing in the competition. On the opening weekend, she scored twice for Birmingham City against Bristol Academy in a 4-0 win, and Karen Carney got the other two.
Can't be many players that have been involved, if any, in every season since then. Up until this point, she's had a fantastic career and continues to play a big part, and hopefully she'll make an impact on what I believe is her hometown, her home city.
But she started at Leicester, going way back. 20 years ago when she was a teenager playing in the local regional leagues. Now 38 years of age. Miyazawa. Lundqvist. Looking for Schuller. Then Egmond will eventually clear. Miyazawa again. Williams coming back, and then she just leaves something on Mallard and apologises as Mallard hits the turf. Letizia. Back on her feet. Miyazawa. Late challenge by Lehman as well. Zigiotti, and home crowd not happy, but it will be a free kick.
Yeah, there was a half a moment there where Alicia Lehman feels she can get a touch on the ball. There's a load in it, I think just the momentum of
the player who was featured for Leicester in every single season in the Women's Super League so far.
I think she's done a fantastic job at times for Leicester sort of holding the team together. Where's the armband now? What she was brought into the club for, Alicia Lehman. She has got that real directness about her, got good pace. She just breezes past a couple of United there with ease. Monique Janssen has to be alert at the near post to clear that behind.
recently with Como in the Italian league. And of course, vastly experienced in the Women's Super League. And again, Stacey Phillips is convinced that Sam Tierney doesn't have the ball in the quadrants.
Feels so petty, doesn't it? You know, from the referee's part, but also the player just has it touching the line.
Particularly when you're about to belt it 30 yards, which is what she does. It's cleared away by Schuller. Van Egmond. And a missed kick from Kane.
Hannah Kane's eyes lit up there, but it was never really on to be taking a shot from that position. Ball never sat down nicely enough to get the connection required.
Their only goal so far this season came for Wales against Switzerland.
It was a lovely finish, in fairness, you know, lob over the goalkeeper, if I remember right.
Decent spell for Leicester. Neville fires in the cross, but Colours Joyce is right behind that. Leicester suddenly trying to engage further up the field. They also get the crowd involved as well. Schuller. Sandberg. Finding under Longfist. Sign from San Diego in the United States. Schuller has been given the room to turn here. She's got Longfist on the outside. Mallard waits, but the cross only finding Clark.
Just when Leicester feel that they're getting into the game, United show that they can go and counter-attack themselves, and just a little bit too much on the pass from Schuller there meant that it was difficult for Lundqvist to get a good cross into the area.
Van Egmond finding Lehmann. Now Neville, 9 years at Tottenham. A symbol of their rise into the Women's Super League, and the fact they were able to establish themselves here. Janssen, now Letizier. Miyazawa is able to turn again, and Leicester not really getting tight to her. Cutting the ball out initially, but now Park. In the room to drive in field, Sandberg in plenty of space on the left. 4 in field. Sarah Mailing's done well. She may need some help herself. She's managed to dig out the clearance in the end. But now Zigiotti. That's loose and Leicester will clear. Lehmann. Straight into the body of Lundqvist. Nelson. Here is Park. She was scored by Tierney. It will be a free kick.
I haven't seen an awful lot of Jess Park so far in this match, but she's got so much quality. She's been a brilliant signing for Mark Skinner so far this season, and just in there, quick feet, get her away from Sam Tierney. Before that, I thought Sarah Mailey did excellently well to hold the progress of Sandberg on the Leicester right. Defended really diligently. She's another good signing, I think, for Leicester. A lot of experience coming from Aston Villa.
It's arguable who got the best end of the deal, with Jess Park going one way in Manchester and Grace Clinton going the other. I think both clubs did pretty well.
Yeah, they did. Grace Clinton obviously hasn't played as many minutes for Manchester City, but yeah, Jess Park's been a fantastic addition to this United team.
The free kick curled just wide in the end from Dominic Janssen.
Some distance.
Okay, gets it away by Charles Joyce. Miyazawa just gets a touch ahead of Will. Sandberg. Railing will go back to Clark once again, who just has to get rid. Clark. The spell of strong United pressure here as we head towards half-time. Janssen looking for Schuller, but again it's beyond her.
It's a feature of their play though, United, trying that sort of diagonal cross, cutting in onto their sort of in-swinging cross from the left-hand side, and Schuller's always lurking around that back post, but apart from the goal, haven't quite got it right since then.
In terms of shots on target, not too much in the game, but United have had 3/4 of the possession. Janssen, Sigiotti, Park, she was clipped by Neville, it will be a free kick. Third time is the suggestion from Jess Park, I think.
Players don't like being tackled, do they?
Sandberg, now Mallard again, oh, the nutmeg on Mailing. And she goes to ground and gets the free kick.
Yeah, lovely skill from Mallard, and once you've done that, you're asking for a little bit of a kick, I think. No player likes to be nutmegged. Not sure if it was Mailing or... yeah, it was just a little clip to stop her getting any further.
Mallard's always a threat, but United aren't getting around the back too often, are they? Because she always comes inside, and obviously she's creating room for Sandberg, but we've not seen too many crosses from that sort of area. Yeah,
I think it's a feature of modern football, the inverted wingers always wanting to come back, and as a defender you kind of know what to expect. So you can go outside and inside, it can make a real difference.
Sandberg with the free kick here. That's defended well again by Williams. It's another corner. But how many headers has she won inside the Leicester penalty area?
Yeah, she's really made her presence felt inside that penalty box. You'd want that to be up the other end if you're from a Leicester City persuasion, but she's been crucial in keeping them at bay even further from, you know, after that goal. She's been crucial in clearing set pieces, corners. Been a real presence in there for her team.
Corner number 7 for United in the first half here, 2 minutes to play. Once again, Clark coming to fist it clear, and he's not too sure of what was around her, so it will be another corner kick.
Yeah, probably needed a shout that she had a bit more time there, Keys, but in that situation as a defender, you just got to do the safest thing and get it away.
Zigiotti with the corner kick, and again, it's a real teaser, but this time it's onto the roof of the netting from Lundqvist.
Super delivery from Zigiotti, right in the mixer. And the one time that Rachel Williams is beaten in the air, thankfully for her, doesn't trouble the goal or the goalkeeper and lands safely on top of the net, but a decent leap from Lundqvist there. Couldn't quite get over it to get it on target.
United with the most points away from home so far in the Women's Super League. 5 wins, a draw and just a single loss. Here is Mailing. Van Egmond. Damon will challenge for this and win it back as well. Mailing. Tierney. Needs a good cross here. Lehman attacking it. She rather led with her arm on Zigiotti. Will be a free kick.
Yeah, you expect your forwards to go and challenge for the ball, but that one looked a little bit, she was never likely to get there. She was quite low. It's a decent ball in from Keys. Yeah, just jumps up with the shoulder and a little bit of the other arm. No doubt in my mind that that's a free kick. Better from Leicester.
Into 2 minutes of added time. United with 3 wins and 2 draws since those back-to-back defeats away at Manchester City, and before that, really the shock result of the season for them, losing at home to Aston Villa. We've got London City Lionesses coming up next week, which should be a very interesting game.
All of the games at London City playing quite interesting, to be honest. I think they've had a really strange sort of season where they've looked superb in moments, but they haven't quite gone on to be the excellent, free-flowing, star-studded team that you maybe expect them to be.
It's often interesting to see who's watching their games as well. On the way back up the
Indeed, it fuels the women's football social media, that's for sure.
Certainly holds the interest. Lundqvist spinning away from the challenge. Nalsund, Schuller just behind her initially. Lundqvist. Looking for Sandberg, who rather left into Mailing. And that will be a Leicester free kick. Tick towards the end of the 2 minutes. Zigiotti with the only goal for Manchester United. It looked to be a cross, swung in seeking out Leah Schuller, but it bypassed everybody and picked out the far corner. Olivia Clark also making a fine save to deny Melvin Mallard. And under the challenge of Lundqvist. In the end, Leicester do get the free kick.
I'm not sure why the referee waited so long to give that. It looked a fairly obvious foul on Alicia Lehmann there, but I wonder if at half-time Rick Passmore would have had a suggestion to try and target Manchester United's right. I think Hannah Lundqvist has looked wholly comfortable in that right-back position compared to her teammate on the left, Anna Sandberg. In possession and out, she's just looked a little bit out of sorts at times, and I wonder if that's an area that they might look to target Leicester.
Lehmann is a player who had her best moments coming in from the left-hand side during the first half. She featured for West Ham, Everton and Aston Villa in the Women's Super League. Made an impact at all three of those clubs. She certainly seemed fired up at times during the first half, and Leicester City seemed to benefit from that. Arley. Now Tierney. The space here for Mayling. Kane. And again the outright pace in this Leicester team at the moment. Swaby going back towards Arla. Lehmann. Neville. She was caught by Lundqvist, and that will be another free kick. And Ashley Neville is another player who rarely takes a backward step, and Lundqvist receives a yellow card. I think the first challenge on Lehmann probably put her on the referee's radar, and when the second one came quickly, the card was always likely to follow.
Yeah, so we've got that yellow is a bit of an accumulation of fouls from Lundqvist. That puts her on high alert now. You know, if you get someone like Lehmann running at you, it's going to be a difficult position to be in if you're a fullback.
Free kick here for United. Conceded by Sam Tierney. Maya Letizier is over it. Miyazawa. Here is Lundqvist. And now Letizier. Miyazawa. Plenty of space again for Sandberg on the left. Janssen. Mallard has come in field, so Nelson has room on the outside to find Sandberg. It's a disappointment.
But it's her again, isn't it? Getting up high on the left, Sandberg. Such an attacking fullback. Can't control that cross in the end.
Rick Passmore has been taking notes throughout the game. His team have stayed in the match. We can criticise at times the quality of United's final ball, but Leicester deserve some credit for creating those situations. Miyazawa away from Tierney, and she almost found Schuller. Swaby with a crucial interception. Then Letizier steps in before Lehmann. Come forward to take this. Williams. Tidy challenge by Mallard on Tierney, and United have not really got going since half-time.
They haven't. I think Leicester have started this second half really well. Clever from Tierney there, just letting the ball roll across her, drawing the foul from Mallard. We saw one into that sort of ribs and shoulder area, but Yeah, Leicester have started this much the better out of the two sides, I'd say.
Tierney will take this. It's very deep and nodded towards goal by Williams. Tullis Joyce was on the end of that.
Yeah, you saw Rachel Williams really early in that move signal where she wanted the ball, and credit to Tierney, she delivered it in exactly the right area. Always going to be a difficult header from that distance. There's not loads of pace on the cross from Tierney, but she gets it on target, and you never know, someone comes across there in a similar way to the goal in the first half. It might have been an opportunity, but it's another attempt on target from Leicester.
Well, it goes without saying, Leicester have got to start scoring goals. When you score as few as they do, you are always going to be under pressure. And the only teams who have gone through the entire season not scoring more than once in any game were Yeovil and Doncaster, and they both went down.
Yeah, you've got to be able to hit the back of the net with some sort of regularity as a team, and that's not something that they have done in any way this season. You know, and it's not just down to the forward players either. They need the support, they need the service, and they need players to chip in from deeper areas as well, whether that's set pieces or in open play.
Lundqvist, it was interesting, the run of Nalson, but gathered again by Clark. Lisa Nalson with 2 goals in the win against Liverpool. Williams. Now Keys. It's a free kick. Seeded by Janssen, and Leicester now much more of a factor in the game than they were really at any stage in the first half, and United maybe responding with changes. Jade Riviere among those coming on.
I wouldn't be surprised to see 1 or 2 changes happening now. I think the start of the second half has been really slow for Manchester United. They haven't got going at all in the opening sort of 8 or 9 minutes.
Yeah, Fridolina Rolfo is the other. Of course, Lundqvist on a yellow card, so that could explain Riviere's involvement. Now Mailing. She's got support from Keys. Mailing again. All the way back to Swaby. Here is Van Egmond. Very, very deep, but she's always been very good at knitting things together in midfield. Swaby. It was into the path of Mailing, but then just beyond her. A double change for United incoming very soon. Mark Skinner is not waiting to see what happens here. Now Schuller. Mallard going on the outside this time. Then she comes back in field. Nalson. Mallard again. And the shot was blocked. Miyazawa. Zigiotti forced to chase. Lehmann just gets a foot in, but it will be a throw-in for United. Here come the changes. Jade Riviere and Fridolina Rolfo coming on. Melby Mallard, the first to make way. And unsurprisingly, Hannah Lundqvist is the other.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit of protection there for his right back from Mark Skinner. Had a particularly comfortable afternoon. Manchester United dominating possession. She has looked a little bit at times not quite at it, the right back, and the threat for Leicester has often come down the left side, so add to that the yellow card. That's not a surprising one. Mallard may be a little bit more surprising. I think she's had moments where she has looked a real threat for the team, but when you've got a player with the quality and experience of Fridolina Rolfo to bring on, then you know it's not an unsurprising change either.
Jade Riviere, the Canadian international, came through the University of Michigan. She will slot in on the right, and as you say, Rolfo's got the CV to suggest she will prosper in any game.
I don't think her United career is quite taken off just yet, but I've enjoyed watching her over the years. I think she's a player of immense quality, very classy, certainly knows where the goal is.
She does have 7 goals so far, alongside her 3 assists. Scored some big goals in the Champions League as well. That's the level that United have to really judge themselves now. Sandberg. Park. Riviere. Now Rolfo's got the room to turn. That's a clever ball to find Schuller. Miyazawa. Rolfo again. She was looking for the angle for Sandberg, didn't quite find it. But already she's brought some calmness to the United midfield.
She has, yeah, and she's looked to get involved already as often as she can. Looks like she wants to make an impact for sure. Nice idea to try and play Sandberg in, but just got the angle and the pace of the pass wrong.
Ale. Tierney knocked off it by Zigliotti. No free kick, but here is Keys.
Yeah, get your body in.
Mailing, looking to go beyond Janssen, but she has used her experience there. And Swaby is lost out. Here's an opportunity. United have got so much support. Park. And in the end, she was maybe caught in 2 minds, and Arla can bring it clear.
Yeah, just wanted too much time on the ball there, Jess Park. You expected her to just take a touch and hit it. Got it to Leicester, they got back and were able to defend, but they shouldn't have been given the opportunity. It was a good break from United.
Rolfo. And a heavy challenge on Zigliotti, but United keep moving. And now Schuller into the penalty area, but it's over the top.
And he had eyes for goal there, but probably a little bit too tight an angle with players around you. Going to have to be some finish to hit the back of the net from there from Schuller, but she was all on her own. She didn't really have any other options. Swaby and Ali doing just enough to send her off target. Now Riviere, Miyazawa. Rolfo playing a slightly narrower role than Mallard, so Sandberg may have more room on the left as Park tries to play it in behind, looking for Schuller. It will be a Leicester throw-in in the end. Jess Park, it was Asmita Ale who just stood her ground in the end. Let Park made the decision. Yeah, she did, and Park didn't really know which way to go. I think she'd have been better trying to go on the outside. Came into the numbers and, yeah, just got sort of drowned out a little bit. Well watched by Swaby in the end, or Ale, combination of the two. Leicester
making a double change. O'Brien and Naomi Mouchon are coming on. And Hannah Kane is the first player to come off. O'Brien does have 3 goals so far this season. Which in the context player who is coming back from a long-term knee injury last season. Does have a couple of goals, the French under-23 international. Miyazawa, Rolfo, clearance from Keys. Rachel Williams was often used from the bench during her time at United, and she's given a decent hour here today for Leicester.
Yeah, she's offered a good platform, and defensively she's been so important to Leicester. In those set-piece situations, got her head on so many of them in that first half. And not only has Mouchon got some attacking shoes to fill, she's going to have to do her bit defensively as well.
Leicester have closed the gap in possession, which we saw in the first half, as Rachel Williams got a great ovation from the United fans as she made her way around along with the Leicester supporters. It's a roundabout route, but she is one of their own.
Yeah, it's a nice moment for her. Obviously she would like to have had a bit more of an impact on the game in terms of maybe getting a goal, but nice to see her getting a good reception. That's exactly what she deserves.
Elizabeth Turland and Simi Awauyo will be coming on. Leah Schuller makes way, along with Lisa Nelson. Simi Awauyo, the Canadian international. Another to come through the US college system at USC. And Elizabeth Turland, 2 hat-tricks in the Champions League earlier this season, 4 goals in the WSL so far. Did score on the opening day when United beat Leicester 4-0. Well, that's closed down by O'Brien. And it will bobble through to Tullis Joyce. Leicester have been more effective in the second half because when players have gone forward, they've had more support.
Yeah, they have been much braver, I'd say, in this second half. And United know that any slip up from them could be punished, and with only 1 goal lead, that could be real danger for them.
Riviere. Miyazawa goes down by Tierney. Now Ale. All the way back to Olivia Clark. And O'Brien away from Sandberg. Mouchon in the centre along with Lehman. Now O'Brien comes in field, heads into traffic, goes down. Stacey Bullock's unmoved.
That was a risky challenge from Sandberg there. He's saying it's just a coming together, but I'm not so sure. It was inside the penalty area as well. Let's have another look.
Sandberg was coming back, and well, she got nowhere near the ball.
No, there was no intention of taking the ball. It was sort of hip-on-hip contact, a little bit of a shove as well. I wouldn't have been surprised to see that given. It was a risky one, but one of those that's probably just about on the edge of being a foul or not. Tierney
will take the corner. Headed away by Arujo, and then the shot well struck but over the top from Van Egmond.
Yeah, really difficult one there where you're trying to get your leg over the ball. Just having another look at that incident, that could have been a penalty. It's a good run from O'Brien. Sandberg really
well, at no point did she attempt to win the ball. No,
for me I think that's a penalty. I can see why O'Brien's upset. I suppose from the referee's point of view she's maybe seeing it as a shoulder to shoulder, but I think there's more in it than that.
Arujo. Now Riviere looking to get in behind Neville, but Neville standing firm, and it will be a corner.
Did well there, Ashley Neville stuck to her task. Riviere looked for a moment that she was going to get away. She stuck with her and managed to get a really good toe on the ball.
Riviere. They find plenty of room down the right as Leicester look to push on and try and find an equaliser, but United looking to put the game away here. And the header is wide, and that was nearly the moment from Turland.
And you'd expect her to hit the target there. Turland, the Manchester United number 10, does really well to engineer some space for herself against O'Brien, I think it is. It's a really good contact on the ball and should really be guiding that inside the near post.
Now Miyazawa, Turland, she can drive into the area, but it's a routine save for Clark.
You have to say that the subs for Manchester United have made an instant impact. Arujo and Turland putting a lot more pressure on that Leicester back line than we've seen so far in the second half, and that's resulted in Turland having 2 efforts at goal.
Now Lehmann looking for Mouchon, and Letizier with the help of Tullis Joyce will get the ball away. Riviere. That's an excellent ball forward. Rolfo, but the flag's up for offside.
I think that would have been close. I think Rolfo was a little bit further behind Turland in the initial phase. There again, Riviere, another substitute. Yeah, just about, I think it's Nita Ale here, just about held her line to catch Rolfo offside. It's a lovely little ball from Zighiotti into the path, just needed to hold her run ever so slightly.
Well, we're ticking towards the final 20 minutes and this game is still in the balance. And there were times in the first half when United looked to be capable of moving well clear. Swabe. Now Mouchon. No flag. Mouchon's effort is pulled away by Tullis Joyce and scrambled to safety.
A decent effort, but I feel she took it just a touch too early. Perhaps could have gained a bit more ground and maybe found Lehmann at the far post.
Van Egmond drilled in, headed away by Sandberg. Then Letizier. Rolfo. Sandberg again. Just happy to get the ball away from the United goal.
Really direct, good run from Mouchon. The centre forward keeps herself on side, but difficult angle to really trouble Tullis Joyce, but forced her into a save. That will give them confidence.
Zighiotti. Lehmann is penalised. It will be a free kick.
Again, United dominating possession, but actually while the game is in only a 1-goal game, you just know that Leicester could have their moments, and that was one of them. And I think Mark Skinner may have recognised that, because I believe Tullis Joyce is having a little rest. One of those tactical injuries, I should say.
Tullis Joyce saying it's a heel problem. We do have that break in play, which doubles up as a timeout effectively for the two coaches.
It does. It's something that frustrates a lot of people, frustrates a lot of coaches, but I'm sure there's not many coaches in the game that haven't done it themselves. It's just one of those things. I think it probably frustrates supporters more than anything.
Well, there was a time, if you remember the 1995 World Cup, Women's World Cup, they did have timeouts in that competition, and they tried it out and then very quickly scrapped it.
I don't remember that, to be honest with you, but I'm not surprised.
It's well before your playing career, so England did play in that tournament.
Yeah,
Hope Powell was in the squad.
Wow, yeah.
Along with a number of names from the past, but they did have timeouts, and very quickly they decided it wasn't a good idea.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
But now we have a situation where teams seem to be effectively doing it anyway.
We do, and I mean, I'm not sure the answer to it. Is there some way that you have to stay away from your benches if your goalkeeper or anybody's gone down injured? I don't know how you police it really. Or is it something we just have to deal with?
Well, eventually we just have players bringing on little bits of paper to pass on the tactical plan to everybody else. But it's a free kick for United following that challenge by Lehmann. 10 shots on goal now for them, but only 3 on target. They need that second goal to cement second place. Zigiotti with the free kick. Riviere is behind Miyazawa, but he's found Zigiotti. That's a good ball, Park. Araujo offering that support. Now Letizia. Riviere with the cross. That's solidly by Swaby, but it was Araujo who hits it. Another good save from Clark.
That's a fantastic save from Olivia Clark. Araujo, I think, has been excellent since coming on for United. Leicester trying to claim a foul at some point there, or a handball, but catches it really clean, and Clark gets down really fast. So left-hand side again. That was going in, there's no doubt about that. It's a really good save.
She did score in the recent win in the FA Cup against Burnley. Now a corner which Anna Sandberg will take. Bumped into that near post, but defended well by Van Egmond.
Dealt with set pieces pretty well this afternoon, I would say, Leicester City.
United's corner count in double figures now as well. Rolfo will be one of the targets. Sandberg deeper this time, and it was Riviere at the far post, but it's a goal kick.
Not quite got the same physical presence as the player she replaced, Lundqvist. Still manages to get ahead on it, but never really looked like it was going to trouble the goal.
Well, his team have stayed in the game. Now they just need to make the most of the opportunities that they are creating. Mushin. Need to turn away from Letizia, but that's good defending. Zigiotti. Janssen. Now Sandberg. And in terms of shots on target, United have had 4 and Leicester 3.
Yeah, they've really come back into the game in this second half, and they don't have anything to show for it yet, but you know, it's just that goal scoring, isn't it? The one big thing missing from their game, because they've done okay, particularly as I said in this second half. You'd argue that they deserve an equaliser the way they've played.
United United haven't won 3 in a row this season. They're having to work hard to try and get the 3 points here. They've conceded another free kick. At the moment, they are on 31 points, 4 points clear of Chelsea, 5 points clear of both Arsenal and Spurs, although Arsenal effectively have 2 games in hand. Tierney with the free kick. Doesn't quite come all the way through to Mouchon. Clark looking to beat Ale for pace, but Leicester have the throw-in. This game is a long way from over. Lehmann. Now Park.
I think O'Brien and Mouchon have brought a fresh sort of threat to their side, the 2 Leicester substitutes. Mouchon in particular, it's a really good platform for them to build attacks from, and O'Brien has driven her team forward on a couple of occasions on the right hand side. Definitely brought something new to their attack.
You do wonder that in games against teams outside the top 4, more winnable games possibly for Leicester, whether they could play Mouchon and Williams together.
Yeah, most definitely. That would be something for defences to think about. You know, that's a real physical presence to deal with. Mouchon looks like she's got some nice ability.
Here is Keys, looking for Lehmann. Well, she's challenged by Riviere. And she wants the corner, but a goal kick's been given. She was the only Leicester player in the area, really.
Yeah, but again, it's nice play. O'Brien involved again. Keys getting forward from the back. Plays in the decent ball. I think that it should be a corner, to be honest. Riviere coming across to defend the near post really well. Yeah, Alicia Lehmann plays it off the body of Jade Riviere. It should be a corner, but it's a difficult one there for Lehmann, going beyond the front post. Even if she does get a better contact, it's a difficult angle to score from. But they're certainly starting to threaten a lot more than they did in that first half.
Well, we've spoken about the season-defining games coming up against Chelsea for Manchester United, but at the moment they've still got work to do here against Leicester. Riviere. Joe was ahead of her. Now Park. Sandberg. Rolfo. Trying to hold off O'Brien. And there'll be more changes for United soon. Riviere. Awujo. Park. Now Sandberg. Sandberg's done well there to get around the back, but the cross is beyond Awujo. Riviere. Park. Now Riviere again. Zigliotti. And it's cleared away by Tierney. She was taken out by Miyazawa. And it will be a Leicester free kick.
Yeah, just thought they were going to build some momentum in there, Manchester United, but just again, can't quite work the shot. I think Sandberg on the initial cross needed to drill that rather than try and chip it to the back post, drill it across. Might get a touch off a forward or even a defender. By clipping it to the back post, it gives Leicester an opportunity to defend it. Clark clears downfield.
Tierney will take this. She was also booked for dissent a few moments ago for contesting the non-corner for that Lehman challenge with Riviere. Tierney will now take the free kick. Here is Mouchon. Arujo, the first header, then the volley. Park. Rolfo can bring this forward, Clark ahead of her. But the ball never arrives. Here is Swaby.
Again, it's Shannon O'Brien on the right hand side, being a platform for attack for Leicester City. Turned Dominique Janssen inside out, but couldn't pick out a teammate in the box.
And United really having to grind this out now. Neville. Mouchon. Here is Lehman. Mailing. Janssen just keeping it simple with O'Brien in the vicinity. Here is the change, and it's Ellen Wanganebe who comes on for Jess Park. 21 years of age. Swedish international, signed from Hammarby. Another January signing, 29 goals last season. Vangerheim will have a role to play defensively as well in the closing stages, the way this game is going. Swaby. Helped on by Tierney, but Sandberg will clear. Not sure she had to play that, but it will be a Leicester throw-in.
In the first half, and that's credit to Leicester. In the way they've approached the second half.
Riviere. Neville. Lehman. Neville here, challenged by Vangerheim. That was a firm challenge. I think it was two players trying to evade each other. Zigiotti, the United player, who was involved with Neville, and neither were pulling out. This is the only goal so far. Seems a long time ago now.
It does, and for Leicester they'll feel really aggrieved that they've let that one go in. It was a great run by Schuller. It was a decent delivery into the box by Zigiotti. But always feels a bit disappointing if that's
settle in. Another goal from the bench for Elizabeth Turland. Leicester were looking for the free kick, but United allowed to play on, and Turland has finished the job.
That's a wonderful finish from Turland. I thought she'd missed the opportunity for a moment where she could have slid in her teammate on her right. Could it have been a foul? Possibly. Was Zigliotti just a bit stronger? I'm not so sure. You've seen them given. You can see why Leicester might feel a bit hard done by, but after that Turland felt she could have slipped in her new teammate on the right, but her feet are brilliant. Takes it away from Swaby and Ale and then reverses it through the pair of their legs, and Olivia Clark's got absolutely no chance. That's a wonderful finish. You can see why Sam Tierney is feeling a little bit hard done by there, because I feel that could have been given as a foul.
Yet another goal from a United sub this season. 10 of their 32 goals now have either been scored or assisted by players coming off the bench. They only had one in the entirety of last season, which maybe gives you an idea of the greater they have. As Mita has been taken off, and she's been replaced by Missy Goodwin, but the game has gone, I think, for Leicester. But I'm sure Rick Passmore will be reflecting on a couple of decisions which he may believe have gone against his team.
Yeah, I think so. I think they could have had a penalty, and they could well have had a free kick there before that goal, but like you said, that is the quality that United have got to bring off the bench these days.
Here is Mouchon, and it's Letizier sliding in, and United heading for a 5th successive victory here against Leicester. They're heading for their 4th successive clean sheet. As we tick towards added time, Swaby. And now Turland. In all competitions, that's her 13th of the season. 5th in the Women's Super League. Is able to make the challenge. But he'll be relieved, I'm sure, Mark Skinner. He was always suggesting this could be a difficult game. And it's certainly...
But there's so much quality now in the Barclays Women's Super League that you're going to come up against a lot tougher tests these days.
Here's Van Gaheim. Riviere in support. Van Gaheim coming inside and only finding Tierney. Zigliotti scored one and made one. Awujo and the cross in towards Zigliotti. I don't think she was the target.
No, I don't think she was. I think she's taken one in the midriff or the hands there, fired into her. But she's been good today. She's been lively. Zigliotti been involved in all the good things that United have done, which at times have been few and far between. But yeah, she's been very good in that midfield area for United.
Going to be a home defeat for Leicester once again, and there really is pressure on my home form. It's now 22 without a win away from home in the Women's Super League, and that's a run going back over 2 years. Neville straight to Arujo. Rolfo. But it's one of those days where
you just can't sustain at this level. You have to find a way.
Goodwin. Bouchon. Intended for Goodwin, but Miyazawa will cover. Yeah, no one's adrift at the bottom this year in the Women's Super League, which puts pressure on a number of teams. And Leicester are right in the thick of it. Conversation between Passmore and Williams towards the end.
I do think they've made some good signings in this window though, Leicester, and this is potentially a platform to build on for them. I really like the look of O'Brien. I was surprised to see her being left out. I think she's been excellent for the team over the years. She's added some real intensity to that right-hand side in the second half.
There's a sense of deflation about their performance now with United 2 goals clear. Turlin looking to add to that here. Bangerheim. Miyazawa is square. Janssen. Now Sandberg. Rolfo's cross. Or Swaby just gets a touch. But here is Turlin. In the end, it's Goodwin coming back to try and win it, but Miyazawa finding Bangerheim. Miyazawa, Turlin looking to turn again, and this time Clark denies her.
Another good save from Clark. You know, there may be a question mark or two over the first goal. I still think she couldn't have done too much about it with the run from Schuller, and I think she's made 3 really good saves since then. 2 to her left-hand side, and then that one to the right, gets down quickly again. Turlin smart in the box, she's so good at that. Gets a good shot away, but Clark equal to it.
United with the corner. Turlin challenging. Leicester will clear. And that's it. Manchester United take a firm grip on second place in the Barclays Women's Super League. Elizabeth Turlin seeding the victory late on. Giulia Zichiotti with a first half goal. Leicester apply pressure in the second half. But their lack of goals, an issue for them once again. And Manchester United